Hello YouTubers, RogueMonkeyJr here, and as you all may know by now, DICE are trying out Frontlines game mode on the map Argonne Forest and Amiens. Now, I went in the CTE and tried them out, and I'm going to give you guys my first impression and a little bit of feedback on what I think of the game mode on those specific maps. So we're going to start off with Argonne Forest. Argonne Forest is obviously a infantry only map, and it really feels as though the map was made for this game mode. I like the flag placements. I like where the MCOM stations are at the end. Everything flows very nicely, and they left enough room on the sides of the map for you to actually be able to flank. And 16 players versus 16 players isn't too crowded. As we all know, Argonne Forest can get quite hectic because of all the tight choke points, especially in Conquest, where it's 32 on 32. There's a lot of explosive spam going on. But although when I played the Argonne Forest map, granted there weren't 16 versus 16 because there weren't a whole lot of people playing CTE, I think it was 12 versus 12, but it did flow very nicely and I really quite enjoyed it. But the thing is, I am a sucker for infantry focused maps, so people that like vehicles might not enjoy Frontlines all that much on Argonne Forest because, I mean, it is infantry focused. But the thing with tanks and Frontline is the teams are so small, while 16 versus 16 isn't a whole lot, that if the enemy team picks like an enemy tank with the heavy tanks, which have like 5 or 6 seats, you can literally fit almost half the team in there, and it just takes away so much more action from the foot soldiers, and sometimes you just end up getting wrecked, which I don't find enjoyable. Which brings me on to the next map. Now, Amiens, I mean, it's a really good map. Amiens is undoubtedly one of the better maps in Battlefield 1, but is Frontlines good on it? Not with tanks. I didn't like the fact that there were tanks. I rather have it infantry focused. I mean, there's so many places in the map to hide with a tank, to break line of sight, and to just have your team cover your back so you can have support players repairing your tank. I know it's team based and you focus on like keeping the tank alive, but I just feel as though Frontlines is a game mode that's best played infantry only. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but I feel that the game mode Frontlines, there's not enough players for there to be vehicles in it, because so many people can get into one vehicle, and that just takes so many people out of the fight. So when you're a foot soldier, you're pretty much just like, well, I either attack this tank or I need to find somebody to kill. So I do like Amiens on Frontlines. I think it's great. There's a lot of choke points, but they still left enough room to flank, because the flags go kind of like they go from the bridge in the middle, where Charlie flag is usually, and then it goes up past like more north than where Echo is, and then it goes into the statue and the big building is where Foxtrot is on Conquest essentially, and that's where the MCOMs are. I didn't get a chance to actually see where the flags and the MCOMs are on the other side, because our team was pretty much just always pushing forward, so we ended up winning that game. But I would imagine it's pretty much a mirror of that side, so it would just go and flip around and go where like Bravo is possibly, and then towards like the Alpha point. But as I was saying, I don't really like the tanks in Frontlines, but I mean, I was playing in CTE and it wasn't live, so there wasn't enough players to fill up the server. We were playing, I think, 8 against 10, so we were outnumbered, and they had a tank. And it had a land ship, so there was a lot of players in the tank. It would probably play a lot better in live, obviously, seeing as we would have a lot more players to deal with the tank, because it would be 16 versus 16. So I think it might play very well when it comes out. And the thing that I like the most about DICE coming out with the game mode Frontlines for vanilla maps is that players who bought the DLC can only obviously play Frontlines on the DLC maps. And since not everybody has a DLC, sometimes you're hard pressed to find a game of Frontlines that has people in it, because there's a much smaller part of the community that actually have the DLC and can play those maps. Of course, going up to EA Play Premium Friends is active, but I mean, it's going to be good to be able to play Frontlines on maps other than DLC, so have that in the vanilla game and just be able to play the game mode more with players that don't have the DLC. Of course, everybody, and I personally wish that they would make all the maps available to everybody, but you know, I doubt that's gonna ever happen, and at least not in the close future. But anyways, if you guys want to go try out the game mode Frontlines on Argonne Forest and Amiens, just go to the CTE, try those out. There's a couple servers running it. I think it's only for the weekend, so if you want to try it out, you better do quick. But let me know in the comments down below if you guys actually tried it yet. What do you think about this game mode on these maps? And while you're down there, be sure to hit the like button button if you liked the video, and also subscribe to my channel and hit that notify bell to be notified when I post a video. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.